Hey everybody, how's it going? Hi, Dr. M. Hey, Brent. Hey, Michael, how's it going? I think I've been like off of space, by the way. And also, let's get mental. I haven't seen you in forever, too. Hey, Carlos.
Hello, hello. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just setting up my tripod.
Okay, thank God. Brian, Manuel, how are you? Alina, welcome to our space. Glad to meet you. I'm here in Caracas, Venezuela, in South America. You can open your mic and we can listen to you if you unmute.
Yeah, hi Carlos, hi Tonya, hi everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being on time. Thank you. Thank you. You're very punctual. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. We are ready to talk and eager to talk about what you are doing. And let's give a few minutes to Tonya because Tonya, okay, she already put up in the nest something from your account, Alena Morell. It's Morell or Morel?
It's Morel.
Morel. Okay, perfect. And okay, we have the first link. Antonia is a technology nut, so she is connecting us with every platform that you can imagine: Twitch, Facebook, High Five, ICQ, and even maybe we are connected straight to inside the house of Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is just like in a private line listening to this show too. I mean, she's incredible. You cannot believe. I have the theory that she is triplets. She has two more Tonyas, her sisters, and that's the reason she can do so many things. And the rest of us mortal humans, we barely can eat and sleep. Okay, but she's just like, oh my goodness. I
You're
feel
so
just like,
funny.
yeah, because we are only eat and sleep, and you create buildings and you build cities. And I open my eyes in the morning and I go, oh no, my goodness, look at what Tonya did, and I only did myself a ham and cheese sandwich. I mean, Tonya is producing much more than me. He's a bigger creator.
You're so funny. So, Alena, am I pronouncing your first name correctly? I think I
It's Alina, actually,
Alina.
but it's
Alina.
okay.
No, I
Don't
just
worry.
want to make sure.
Alina,
Actually, I was
okay.
practicing Alina. So, Alina and I met in Charlie's space, and I was just, because I like going into Twitter NFT spaces just to find different things, and I love hearing stories about different people giving back. So I was listening to her story, and I just thought it was incredible. And actually, I wanted to read her bio a little bit before we start. And again, I want to say hello to everyone and thank you for being here. So let me give you a little story about Alena Morell. Alena Morell has been into art since she was a young child. Growing up in her uncle's art studio, she would spend all her summers following him around and trying to master brushwork. At age 5, Alina wanted to become an artist. After graduating high school, she moved to Moscow to attend the Moscow Academy of Art, graduated with fine art and Orthodox iconography degree, and worked for a church as an iconography artist, mainly doing fresco. Alina worked for a while painting for private collectors as a freelancer. In 2020, she moved to the US to study graphic design at UCLA. That sparked an interest in digital art. Furthermore, as she grew older, she gradually lost her spirituality, which moved her away from religious art. In a way, she lost faith in the Russian Orthodox Church because she felt the church used more of a weapon against its people than as a real spiritual safe place. In a sense, it was to become a tool of repression in Russia, a way to standardize minds. And she started pushing against that when she was in Russia. So gradually, she moved away from religious art into more political, engaged art. When the war in Ukraine started, her family separated on opposite sides, and she was the only one who was against the war. It broke her heart. She lost friends and family because of Russia's massive propaganda. Sharing her artwork with the world is a way to express her feelings about the crimes against Ukrainian citizens by Putin's regime, and offers a way for her to share her dissent, even though she could risk jail time if she ever returned to Russia. So again, welcome, Alina. How are you? And thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your bio with me. And I went ahead and blogged about it. That's why I was reading from there. So Alina, can you tell us a little bit more about your journey, and also tell us about more about yourself? I know that the bio is just kind of like give you a brief summary of who you are and where you came from, but I'd like to know how you got into NFT. Where were you when you just kind of like, oh, let me get into NFT, and let me find out what's going on, and your artwork is it's death to tyrants. I mean, that's what I and it's very powerful, and you're donating your artwork, that the proceeds, to an organization, Voices of Children. So let's talk about you. The mic is yours. And also, before we start, I want to let everyone know we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter Live. So we're gonna give the mic out. So when you grab the mic to speak, just know you're being recorded and we're live streaming. So Alina, the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. So how did I get with an idea of my NFT project is actually very simple. I was looking for a platform where I could speak safely and openly about what I really think about what's going right now in the world, particularly about my country, crimes, and the war. And I just wanted publicly to talk about that. And I've tried different platforms before, like Instagram, and which is forbidden right now in Russia. And my goal was like to create the awareness and to do something about that, you know? So I was like trying to find a way how to help Ukrainian people, and NFT is one of the way I found for myself to donations that I could sell my art, in not really sell but give it to the person who will donate for like a greater cause, to help Ukrainian children with psychological problems that they might have after they've been into the war, and yeah, so that is one of the way I found to talk about that and to actually make some difference.
So how did you get into NFT, first of all? Like what did someone talk to you about it, or did you learn about it in school?
No, I didn't learn it anyone. I just talked to some friends, and they were like talking about NFTs, but they were more like artists, that wanted to sell and get some profit out of that. And I was like, oh, that could be an opportunity to, you know, show my art, talk about that, and make some difference by raising some donations. So yeah, I went to Twitter and I started really talking to people, listening to people. I went to Chaos Fernando's space, to his story series. I started to listening, and that's how I learned about that. Basically on Twitter, talking to people. I'm learning from people a lot. Very thankful for everyone who helped me with that.
That's great. And how long have you been in NFT?
Like 2 months only, and I start from like really basics, like from zero. I start from like knowing nothing about that, and little by little just like getting some information, and here I am.
And how's your graphic art design now? Are you still going to school, or are you doing any projects besides your NFT project?
No, actually I'm not studying right now. I am just I'm just trying to work as a full-time artist only for NFTs and make some difference. I will probably do some side job, but a little bit later, because like, I donate stuff, so I don't really earn from that. So yeah, but currently I am just working only on my art for NFTs, and yeah.
So tell me about your childhood. I mean, from what I read, you were very into art, and explain to me some more about your degree, because I was like, I've never even heard of that. That's really cool, by the way. But tell us some more about that, and like, for you being at 5 years old, to know what you want. That's incredible.
Okay, so about my childhood, I grew up in the village where my uncle and my auntie were having an art studio. So they are actually religious artists. So what does that mean? It means that they create some like a religious jewelry, in Orthodox Church, we have a lot of icons. Icons is like artworks made on wood panels. It's kind of fresco style, made with very special paints, and so they were working on decoration of icons, creating golden crosses for the priests, for for a Russian Pope, if I can say that way. Orthodox Pope is patriarch. And yeah, so I grew up around them, working on the jewelry with they've been doing incredible work, like very detailed. I cannot even sorry, I'm having a
No
hard
worries,
time
no
to
worries.
translate all of that in English, because like it doesn't really, I think, exist anywhere. I mean, it does exist, but it's very popular in Russian Orthodox Church to decorate luxuries, icons, and all of that things for the church, because Russians believe that everything, the best thing, you're given to the god, like all the luxury in the world gives it to the god. So I grew up looking how they've been working on these extremely like delicate and very beautiful works. They were working with gold, with diamonds and stuff like that. So I was just like curious and tried to copy, like follow them around. And since that time, I knew I want to do something like that. But then I realized I don't really want to be a jewelist, because it's very very hard work for a woman. And so I decided that I would just be a painter, because like that's something I also like, and it's a lot easier. So yeah, it's kind of that's how I kind of started with an idea of being an artist. And since then I've been drawing a lot. I went to the art school, then I went to the college, and since then that's what I'm doing for a living. Of course I had like side jobs and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do till I guess I die. Hopefully I will be able to.
Listen, Tonya and Alina, if you allow me that, I mean, you are obviously politically, I mean, you are from Russia, you were born in Russia.
Yes, I am. My nationality is Russian. I was born there.
Okay, okay. And you are living now in the States, or you are in any other part of the world? You don't need to tell it. I mean, if for
I am.
security reasons you don't need to tell where you are, don't worry.
No, no worries, no worries, no worries. I'm safe in here. I live in U.S., but I'm currently on vacations in south of France. So I'm pretty safe from what I am to talk about things like that. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to Russia anytime soon for the safety reasons. Because a few days ago, one of the politicians were arrested for 7 years, sentenced to prison for 7 years for just saying a simple no war. So yeah, I'm
Wow,
not going to
wow.
come. I'm
You know,
coming back. Yeah, you can follow in
now,
your
give me a minute because I have a problem. I am 61 years old and I have been working with comedy, stand-up comedy for 41 years. And there is some classic jokes from the 60s when the Cold War and all the classic US and Russia and when the Soviet Union and stuff. And I'm dying because I want to tell a joke which is, I know we are amid a tragedy, but this is an old joke. And I think that it illustrates so well the situation that you are going about censorship, because I'm living in South America and we have that kind of trouble through here in Venezuela. And I want to tell you the story. Originally, the story is between Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev, but I think we could adapt it to Biden but I'm going to give you the original version. It was a conversation between an American and a Russian person, and the American guy said, here in the United States, I can go into the White House, okay, and I can enter into the Oval Office, and I can tell me enter into the Reagan's office and tell President Reagan, I don't like the way you are governing this country. And the Russian guy tells the American one, hey, we can do exactly the same. What? In Russia? Yes, you can do exactly the same. Exactly the same. I can go into Mr. Gorbachev's office in the Kremlin and I can hit the desk and I can tell him, listen, President Gorbachev, I don't like the way Mr. Ronald Reagan is governing the United States. I love that joke. It's obviously not the same situation. So, okay, now I can breathe because I was going to explode if I didn't that joke. Sorry to interrupt you with that. But I adore it. I adore it because I think it's a wonderful classic. So go ahead, go ahead. I have a question about where you get most inspiration as an artist. Do you have a prefer for? I mean, it's something that comes to you as a muse, or maybe you have something that inspires you. I mean, what kinds of do you have some inspiration trick? Let's say, let's put it that way.
I don't really have any inspiration trick. It's just it's my pure emotions that I actually experienced. Like when the war started, the artwork you see above is what I wanted to happen, and many people with me, I think millions of Ukrainians would agree with me 100%. I was so heartbroken. I couldn't sleep, I think, for 2 weeks because um, for me, this story is very personal. Like my family, like split it on two because um, all my family kind of stood on the side of propaganda and Putin and supporting the regime because they were so brainwashed. And I was on the other side, and I kind of was left alone, or maybe I left them because I chose to stand for what I really believe, what I think is right. And it was very scary to be like that. It was extremely scary. I must say I started to talk about what I think on different platforms, like I said before. I started on TikTok and I received so much hate. I've received death threats, and it almost killed me because I had so much social pressure from my family, from my friends, that were telling me that I'm wrong, that I should not, that I'm a traitor to my country, that I am no longer family member, bec- sorry, because I am choosing to say that it's not right to kill people, and wherever they are, people deserve to live, and nobody is right to take their lives for any political reasons or ever. And that's how much anger, depression, shame I had in all one moment. So one of the way for me to get the emotion out was to create this artwork. This is not the first version of that. I had a paper version first, and only then I was like, okay, I want to do a digital one. And then from a digital artwork, I created a GIF, a moving artwork. So yeah, all my inspiration is my pure emotions that I feel every day. And I hope I answer your question.
Yes, you have. I'm sorry to hear what you had to go through. I guess when you have a different opinion and you're not, you're fearless. I mean, that's what, like I say, I would describe what you're going through as being fearless. It's so hard, especially going against the norm. And and by doing that, how should your parents feel about this?
My parents are not supporting me. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk, we don't interact, we have very different lives, and I think they are trying to punish me, like by not interacting with me. But that's okay, I think one day maybe we will be together again, but for now it is what it is.
Carlos, did you want to say something? I see your mic open.
No, no. Can you see me? Can you
Yeah,
hear
now
me?
now I can hear you. Before your mic was open, that's why I didn't know if you wanted to say something. So that must be so tough for you. So now, how many pieces did you make of this collection?
Fortunately, I didn't make a lot because I'm also I have like mental health problems. So that's the only piece, and I was trying to finish the second one for today, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. And yeah,
No worries.
sadly it's only one.
So tell us why you chose Voices of Children. Because when I look up Voices of Children, there's a lot of other organization that's doing this. Why did you choose this one?
So why did I choose this one? I choose this one because I know, first of all, for me, mental health is very important. And Voices of Children are taking their primary care is to take care of children and their mental health. That was very important for me. The second reason is I know what it is, PTSD, what people go after they experience some war actions. I've seen that in my family. Fortunately, my stepfather was a soldier during the 2000s, the holy war in Chechnya, and he came back from there and he suffered from very hard symptoms of PTSD, and it's very scary. And I cannot imagine. I've seen what an adult going through when he suffers from that disorder. And I cannot imagine what little children must go. And there's a lot of children that lost their parents, that seen some very scary stuff that children should never see. And I think it's very important to support these children so they can come back to life without mental issues. And that's why I chose this organization. It's not very popular, not like others when they have like a lot of funds. And that's why I wanted to choose this one to support this one, because it's not big, and I kind of want to I want to help this one because they help with particularly children, and their funds are not very big.
You know, I'm from Vietnam originally, and I'm blessed because I didn't really go through a lot of, you know, because when you hear about Vietnam War, you hear about the shooting and the bombing and all this. I was blessed, but I'm still a little traumatized because I did hear a couple gunshots and different loud bangs. So I can't be around we down here in South Florida. We have what they call what's it? They do this whole air coast, the Air Force. They do this whole like planes flying everywhere. And anytime I get around, I get anxiety. I get anxious. My friends love it because I love it because it's on the beach. It's in Fort Lauderdale, and everybody's drinking and having a good time. And I would go, but I would never I love going to the beach, but I just would it didn't even dawn on me how anxious I would get all the time. I did it for years because it was the person I was dating at the time was like him and his friends. That was their thing. They just love parking down the road, and we ride the bike up and go there. And I would still have anxiety over it. And so, I do understand why children, because I came over here when I was like 8 years old. So I still remember the loud and the banging, the noises, any type of, and like helicopters or anything like that give me anxiety. So I could imagine what these kids are going through, especially if they're still in Ukraine and they're still going through, and the constant media constantly, reporting on, how horrible Ukraine is doing, how horrible that is doing. I mean, what I do understand a lot about is the morals of the Ukrainian people, because they're willing to fight. They're not willing to give up, and that I'm saying this because I wanted to also shine a light on you for doing what you believe in, because you didn't fall for the propaganda. You believe in what you see, and having empathy for people. Empathy is the key word. Empathy is where, it's not sympathy, it's empathy, where we understand how the people are going through. So Alena, you having so much empathy for the children, and also understanding about mental health. Your artwork is like very traumatic, and like, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, I had a little giggle, but then I was like looking at it, I'm like, it's very traumatic. I had a lot of like passion and anger into it. Would you like to talk a little bit about, why you came up with that?
Yeah, sure. It's just
Alina, excuse me, Alina. Can I tell you something related to what Tonya is asking you? Because I don't want this to pass by. I just want to congratulate you from the advertising point of view, or calling of attention. I mean, it's incredible in your Twitter account. I think that your banner that says House of Tyranny, and when you put the first line in your bio, welcome to the House of Tyranny, it's just like so shocking and so attention grabbing. It's such an attention grabber. It's wonderful because immediately you explain my NFTs are about resistance to a cruel dictatorship, so and so, and I sell my artwork to help Ukrainian children. But that first thing, that welcome to the House of Tyranny, it's so catchy. It's incredibly intelligent and clever for getting people to to catch attention, to get the attention. And the other thing I want to share is talking about the noise that Tonya was commenting, is that I have a kid, an only kid which has autism, and he suffers in the movies where he goes, because when he goes to the movies, because of the it's too loud. And there are two countries, I guess it's Spain and Japan, which have special cinema functions for children with autism and in the spectrum and other sensory problems. And I just cannot imagine, when Tonya was talking, I said, oh my goodness, there must be some kids with autism too in Ukraine. So imagine if for a normal kid, a totally normal kid, is scary, just like what you're sharing, Tonya, the bombing that you recall and stuff, and that big noise. Wow, I cannot believe, because my kid sometimes, just with the clapping in a birthday party, he will go nuts. He will go scared. I mean, he scream. He will do damage to my face with his little nails, because he was totally scared and in terror, just because of the noise of the applause. Can you imagine that with bombings and stuff? I need help. They need help totally. I mean, they need to be protected too, and they are a minority inside a minority. So go ahead with the answer for Tonya, and sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to congratulate you, because I adore that trick of welcome to the house of tyranny. It's just like, oh, what is this? Oh, you have to stay. I mean, you have to put your brakes, press your brakes and stop your car and read very well what you're doing.
Thank you very much for complimenting that. Actually, that was designed to create an attention, because everybody knows that there's a war in Ukraine, and everybody knows that Russia attacked Ukraine. But not a lot of people know that there is another war right now going on inside of Russia between people, and how much propaganda is over there, how much repressions, how people trying to stop the war and make a difference. And they care about their children as well, because many young boys are sent right now to a bloody war in Ukraine, Russians, because government needs soldiers to fight. So I was trying to create an awareness, not only about that there's a war in Ukraine. I wanted to create an awareness that people, look, nothing is that simple. Like, not everyone in Russia, first of all, supports the war, and there's a lot of repression and a lot of complications that I wanted people to know. It's not that simple. And I'm pretty sure that everyone, anyone could fall for propaganda if being, I don't know, in country non-stop listening to TV and stuff like that. Social media is super brainwashy over there. And coming back to Tonya's question about the artwork and my anger. So what can I say about that? So when the war started, I so the artworks, like it's called Death to Tyrants, and it's a part of collection called Guilt, Shame, and Anger. And three of these feelings I was feeling constantly, like nonstop. Um, I have a friend. She's Ukrainian, and by the time by the war started, I was trying to help her to get out of Ukraine and move here to France. I was doing everything for that, and I was trying to talk, because my family actually knowing her. And so my anger came from this misunderstanding from the people I love, like I was basically telling them that I'm trying to help my friend, and they were just saying that, oh, she's a fascist and Nazi and all of this. And it was so hard for me to split between two of these sides, and this anger just came right from there, from this splitting, that I had to maintain a good relationship with my family because I love them. They're my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. And there's my friends that suffer, that send me videos of how the house just folded like a paper house. There's like videos, dead people, there is media like TV and all of this news, and all of that just created so much dissonance inside of my soul. And I start to feel all of that anger on people that don't really want to listen, they don't want to understand, they don't want to go outside of like their shell and actually see for what's going on. They're just so, they were so comfortable about what people tell them on TV, what Putin was feeding them with. And that made me so much angry because I was in France, I was in US. I mean, I was just the same time I was like flying from US to France. So I've seen it everywhere here in the West, how people die, how children, like cry, and all these women like all suffered and covered in blood. And I'm calling my mom and saying, Mom, look at that, look what's going on, why are you saying that nothing is going on? And she was like talking to me, doesn't believe me, and that created this anger. I'm sorry if I was too emotional and too
No, that's
long about
okay.
that.
No, I want you to be emotional. I want you to share your story because that's what this is about. We want NFTs for a cause is something that Carlos and I created together, and we meet every Sunday, and we share different people's projects, and meeting you and hearing how you describe your art and how you talked in the space, in Charlie's space. I just had to like have you on our show, and because it's important for us, it's important for us to let other people know about every different project that comes along, that it is empowering other people. And your art is just like, it's in your face, and that's why it made me curious, and I can understand the passion behind it. So like, like I think it's incredible. I really like it. So
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak and to express that. It's just so incredible how people are open-minded and welcomed on Twitter and spaces like that. I'm very thankful to you, Tonya, for inviting me as a guest, and for you, Carlos, to saying funny jokes and actually cheering my mood up. It helps a lot. Thank you very much for hosting me today. I really appreciate that.
yeah, I like the nonprofit you chose. I was researching them. That's why I made sure they were shared, that the link was shared on the blog that I wrote about you. And I feel like it's important for us to raise these awareness, because, there's a lot of projects out there, and there's a lot of different people doing different things, and it don't matter how big or small. I think if you're doing something and you're giving back, it's so important to, I call it raise the vibration, like let people know. It's not how big it is. It's like this. If we were able to reach out to one person and raise awareness of what's going on, that's all that matters. And the whole idea behind this is also raise awareness about your art and your work. And I actually I looked at your I went to your Instagram page. Um, that I saw some of your work. Is that what you're talking about when you do the religious pictures?
Oh yeah, it's actually the old page. I'm so surprised you found it. Yeah, that's over there you could actually see the oil religious paintings and iconography, um paintings on the wood panels. Yeah, there's not much over there, but yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of that type of art before. Like I've been writing about art for a while. I mean, I work with art critics, and I publish about it, and my friends are artists. I always publish press releases about their art and stuff, because it's not about like how big the showing is going to be or how many pieces they got. I just want to make sure that they have an imprint on the search engine. I mean, I think that's the goal. Like, I feel that's why I'm doing this. That's why when I asked you for your bio, it's just because I wanted you to have like a place in the search engine so that people know, and then people remember this time, because that's the whole idea of publishing things. When you put things online, if you publish beautiful things and you want to share the world about different projects. And I just see your project was so incredible, especially being not following the norm. You are doing your own thing and you're believing in it, and you have a great cause.
Yeah, I cannot say it's easy at all. It's not easy to go against everyone, and I've lost like all of my friends because in what I believe, and it's a lot more comfortable for them to stay in Russia and live their life and don't choose anything. And I'm not judging them, but we all choose what we believe in. And yeah, about what you ask, iconography is something very typical. It came to Russia from Greek, from sorry, not Greek. Oh my God, Byzantine culture, and we kind of took their way to prepare the wood panels and their techniques into our culture. And iconography, it's painting of the saints, of Jesus Christ, of the Holy Mary on the wood panel with the fresco layer, and using very specific paints. We use mineral pigments, and it's called tempera. So we prepare them in very specific way. We use glass and some liquid and pigment, and kind of mix it together, and then we use this archaic paint for the longer how to say that, so basically it's all the master way of applying the paint on the canvas for the longer existence. Like, these icons can stay up to 500 years and still
Wow,
be
it's like
okay.
a sealant, like it protects it.
Yeah, it's just the way they make the paint. They use the egg and the wine, and they mix it with pigment, and apparently it creates like a super hard substantial that stays on the canvas forever. Well, not forever, obviously. I'm just kidding. um Approximately 200, 300 years for sure, if you do everything right, and if you don't do anything wrong with technology. So yeah, it's very long, hard process. It takes about 1 month to create one icon. Well, it also depends of the size.
Wow, I'm gonna I found this yeah, you got me really intrigued, because it's not just about like I see one in Buddhism too, because I'm Buddhist, and like it's under I found this at Smart History, the Center for Public Art History. I'm gonna share this out so I can have it on my timeline, and I'll put this in too, to just so that we can explain to people. Here you go, Carlos is back, so we can explain to more, because I to be honest with you, I think I've heard of this, but I just it didn't really catch my momentum as far as catch my eye. But I can see some of the different types of art that they did with it, and it's very unique and very specialty.
Yeah, I believe they use that in the Buddhism, because it's just the way they. It doesn't matter about what kind of religion. It's just the way they apply the paint, and it's like a fresco method. Kind of. It's complicated, but yeah, it's good for paint indoors walls, like in the churches or in the pray houses, anywhere. And it's still popular. If you ever go to the Orthodox church and you look at the walls inside of the church, you could see they use the same technique over there to create stories, how the world was created and all of that. Religious sceneries. And it's very pleasant to hear that it could be interesting for someone because it's very specific, and a lot of people just care only about oil, about something more like traditional.
Yeah, that's really unique. I never even thought to even you see, I learned something today. Yeah, because when I was publishing your bio, I was just like, I wonder what that is. I didn't get a chance to even research it yet, but I'm glad you told me more about it. I'm gonna tweet this out and share it to the space. And if anyone want to grab the mic and come up and chat with us and ask any questions,
I want to excuse me because we had a little blackout here, but it was very brief in the zone. That's very usual here, and so everything had to reset. But I wanted, before the blackout, and I went out of here, I wanted to ask Alina, okay, this is kind of joking, because Tonya was asking you a question about your anger, okay? So I want to ask you a question. You didn't get angry at Tonya because she asked you that anger question, right? Or you're not angry to Tonya at all, right?
No.
I'm just kidding. Because I say, oh, she's making an anger question. Now Alina is gonna get angry, and she won't answer. No, why you did that question, Tonya? Thank God you answer it. Don't worry. But I want to congratulate you, because it's really to be creative, to have a soul that thinks in terms of seeing. I resume creativity. No, it doesn't matter whether it is in a stand-up comedy, Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali, ballet, anything that is artistical or creative has something in common. Is that the artist sees and watches and observes something that the rest of the people don't see. I think that's the real magic of any creator, to pinpoint and spot something that we don't see. And that's the help that you, Alina, as an artist, gave us, each and one of every us, because we can see something that we didn't know it before you pinpoint and you put the finger and say, hey, look at this detail. And the artists, no matter the discipline, what they do is that, with the lyric of the song, with a drawing, with a verse, that's the secret of the real artist. And if that vision, which is different, comes straight from your heart, as I feel that's your case, that's the best connection possible, because your heart connects us with a reality what we didn't were aware of it. So that's a real magical connection. That's really being a magical artist. So in that case, don't worry about your anger. There are different tools, different ways, different roads to reach a goal. Your goal is to make us and the rest of the world aware of something we were not aware before watching you work. Okay, so be happy with your anger. Don't worry about that. But don't get angry at me, okay? Thank you.
So with this piece, so once you get rid of this piece, will you be making more, or what are you looking at? What's your next piece?
My next.
You have a vision of?
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I just want to know. I want to hear about your vision.
So my next piece is coming up soon, like in a few days, and there's going to be more when I get mentally most stable, because like all of this pressure is very hard to take, and it's still going on. The wars haven't finished, and family is still not united, and I am living outside of my country, so everything's kind of wobbly in my life. And yeah, it's going to be in few days, and it's also going to be animated, and it's going to be about propaganda and how I feel about that.
I mean, you mean actual animation with movement and stuff?
Yeah, it's basically going to be animated picture. Maybe it's going to be a little more complicated than the one that I have painted, and yeah, it's going to move. And it's going to be about propaganda and how I feel about that.
Mm. And that's a terrible subject, because in so many countries, I mean, there are this thing of I think the worst, the most dangerous weapon is the repetition of a lie, and I think that tyrannies specialize in that. Whether it's the Cuban one, or the rest of the tyrannies that we have been suffering in the planet, you see that always they use that tool, and that tool is just like it's very pitiful, but it's effective. They repeat a lie once, and 1,000, 2,000, 1,000,000 times, and after it's incredible. But the brain start to believe that blatant lie, something that originally your brain will say, "Hey, I cannot believe that." After listening to it 1,000,000 times, you accept it. You can see my face, okay? If I repeat 1,000,000 times that I am exactly like George Clooney, you will believe it, and you will say, "Yes, Carlos is exactly looks alike. He's a George Clooney look-alike." No, I'm kidding. Right? It's impossible that the brainwashing could be could reach so far. But you know what? I'm talking seriously. It's terrible. It's terrible how tyrannies brainwash through repetition. I think that's it. Forget about weapons of mass destruction. I think the worst weapon of mass destruction is precisely that: the capability of a tyranny to repeat a lie and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until you don't have any other. The people end up believing in it.
And that's what I want to exactly say with my artworks, that propaganda is actually not a lie that they place in the brains of the people. Propaganda, it's facts, but twisted in a certain way so people would believe, like they twist the truth and they add some lie and they make people believe at some point, which is actually not 100% false, but it's not true. And that's how they catch people. People just detect some truth in the propaganda, and they start to believe the rest of what they've been told. That's very important to understand, because people might like they believe that propaganda is like, oh yeah, Russians are so dumb, they've been told so many lies, and they're just so stupid to realize that it's a lie. It's not like that. And yeah, it's terrible what's going on, and how the propaganda works, and it kind of happens all over the world from time to time. And it's very sad, and sadly it happens in my country and in Ukraine. And yeah, my goal is just to again create an awareness about that, about my country, what's going on inside, and to actually help, um, like I can, to Ukrainians and Ukrainian children.
And are you handling all the NFT logistics by yourself? Sorry, there is a strong motorcycle passing by. Are you handling the NFT logistics by yourself, or do you have the help of some friend or someone specialized like regarding the smart contract issue, the blockchain, because there is somehow complicated. It looks easy, but it's not so simple. To establish a successful shielding or publishing and stuff of the NFT. Are you getting help, or are you learning it by yourself? Because there is a lot of people also working alone, and they learn in it. They learn to do it by themselves. What is your situation in your case? You have a small team, just one friend that helps you, or are you doing everything by yourself?
I'm doing everything by myself. I'm not in any white lists. I am completely alone. I don't have friends. The project is completely mine, and there's no one else working with me, just me alone.
Then you have to work on your anger, because that's why you don't have friends, because you're angry all the time. You have to be a little bit. No, no, sorry. That came to my mind, and I cannot keep my mouth shut. Forgive me. But that's great. That's great. If you're handling NFTs by yourselves, that gives you a very, very bigger freedom, and that's wonderful for your project. I congratulate you on that.
Just want to say one more thing before any questions. The way I do donation is actually, if anyone want to purchase my work and help Ukrainian children with their mental health and to support them, I don't receive any money on my wallet. So for purchasing the artwork, you actually need to go to the website of Voices org UA. Over there, there's a crypto wallet. You can send a crypto wallet. You can send your money to the crypto wallet. It's 0.08 ETH, and you can just get the receipt on the website. You send me the receipt, and I send the artwork directly to the wallet of a person who donates. So I don't
That's
collect
wonderful,
money.
wonderful.
I don't collect money. You go, everything is transparent. I just send the work directly to the person who is going to prove to me by the receipt that he actually donated 0.08 ETH to this organization. And the link is in my bio.
Yeah, that's perfect, because if you are not touching the money, there is no dot and it's at all, and it's totally clean and transparent, as you say. Brent, I'm worried that you are too shy and too quiet today. Do you want the mic? I'm gonna see if it's possible to give you a mic and have your questions, because we're close to closing, and you do wonderful questions when you are just like a good soccer player, making the best goals at the end of the play at the end of the game.
I feel like everybody has a life story, and everybody lives a journey, and everybody uh has has their ups and downs, and everybody fails at something. But you can only fail at something if you try first.
And here's another added thought too. You can fail when you stop trying. Because I feel like you don't
Exactly.
really fail even if you think you fail, and failure is a matter of opinion, really. But if you continue trying, and success is really longevity. Those who stay, I say that from just my point of view, how I experience my life myself. So it's someone asked me like at one time, they go, "Oh, you published a story, but I didn't get any traffic," and like I had to explain to people, like, when I publish a story, it's not about like publishing a story to get traffic to the social network. When I publish a story, it's about putting an impression in about my subject matter, and also getting the trust from the search engine. So that, to me, and it's I've been doing it since 2006. So it's kind of like I'm not trying to like get thousands of views. I'm trying to raise awareness of the cause behind it. And I'm not trying to like drive traffic to the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, or anything like, or even to YouTube. But you know, we get a lot of traffic on YouTube. But you know, it's a lot of people tell me like, is that, do you feel like you're failing? I'm like, no, that's not failing. I feel I'm succeeding. I'm succeeding because I'm still publishing. I'm still doing the same thing I've been doing since 2006. And I have helped a lot of people along the way. So my success for me, it's not about me driving a brand new car or living in a big house. My success is I get to look at all the different people I've touched and helped and create a ripple for them on the internet, in the search engine. So, you know, I think that's why, Alina, I think I am very proud of you and I connect with you. And Brent is like a good friend of mine. So I
And
just have to
as
share that.
Tanya says, her success is anyone's success.
Or your success is my success. And also, you know, like I think a lot of people get so wrapped up on, you know, like, oh, I didn't do this yet, or I haven't done that yet. You know, it doesn't matter when you do it, as long as you do it. And it might not get accomplished tomorrow or today, but you know this is what you want to do, and you know that you're going to do it. It just it's timing also. And a lot of time people are like, oh, you're so lucky. No, people aren't lucky. People put hard work into it. That's why I have so much passion for the NFT artists. You know, like I meet, and I always feel like each person I meet, I was meant to meet them. It wasn't like kind of like, oh, I'm going to follow this person because they have a lot of followers. I really don't care about that because I've been doing this for so long. I just really feel like they're in front of me because I need to know why. I need to understand why that they're in front of me. Like for example, Igabor 8 NFT art. I think I just started following him, and I know there's a reason why he followed me, and that's why he's sitting in this space. And so I feel very connected to him about that. And IC Cola, it's like we've been following each other, and you know, different people I've been working with, and also J Streams is also, we follow each other. And you know, like you never know who you meet and like talk to. So Alina and I met, and I remember meeting her, and I said, you know what, I want to have you come on my space because I need to know more about your story, and your art is so passionate and so full of anger. You know, those are the kind of story you want to know. And for someone to just say, you know what, I'm gonna, and when I heard her story in Charlie's space, I was like, I need to really let the world know more about her because she pretty much went against her family, her everything, what is considered the norm. But she did something out of the kindness of her heart. She's not even taking money out of this. She's just doing it because she wants to. She wants to make a difference. And those are the people that we want to raise.
I feel if it wasn't for Twitter, Tanya, that we wouldn't have a friendship together.
Exactly. No, because of Twitter Space. That's why I'm a huge fan of Twitter Space. So like I think a lot of people, and sometimes, you know, I actually have been taking time off of going into Twitter Spaces because I need to take care of my IRL, as I say it. But you know, the friendship that we make in the social audio, it's a lot of connection. And I always, again, there's a reason why each one of us are meeting today, or meeting before, or you know, so make sure we connect with each other and send each other messages, and you know, invite each other to each other's space. Even if we can't make it, still invite them. You know, you never know. Just invite people. And if you haven't done a space, do a space, because you know what, it's an incredible tool. It's because, again, Twitter, all the social network, it's a tool. It's a communication tool. It's not anything else. It's a tool. It's a way for us to connect.
It's also a tool to make IRL connections for if you happen to be in a city where that person lives.
So true. And look at Carlos and I. We're on our. This is our 23rd episode.
Yeah, incredible. But listen, you know, I want to share with Alina something. When you were talking about failing, I think it was Thomas Edison or Henry Ford who said that a failure is not a failure. It's a result we didn't expect. I mean, you are looking for a result. It's a result different than the one we were expecting. So we have to try again. Oh, just a second. I needed to cough, sorry. But I want to share one of the most quotes by Thomas Jefferson one of the former presidents of the United States in the last century, or the previous the 80s, and they asked someone by a newspaper asked him if he believed in luck, if he believed, because he was very lucky in many things and the achievements of his life. And he said, yes, of course, I am a great believer in luck. I think that luck is very, very important. People talk about any other factor, but luck is incredibly important. And I have discovered, and that's what I love, he said, I have discovered that the harder I work, the luckier I get. So that's adorable. That's the real way, the best way to get lucky. He said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. So that's what I believe in luck. But it's not luck, it's your effort, it's your work. You have to put up every day. It's just like, don't break the line, that like Jerry Seinfeld said. And I tell all my stand-up comedy students, he had a technique of writing a joke every day. So, and don't break the line in the year. He buy this annual planner, and he had a blue line, and he couldn't go to bed without writing even at least one joke every day. So at the end of the year, he had 365 jokes. And that's a lot of material for having a stand-up routine. So don't break the line, Alina. Don't get too much so angry, so you can get some friends, okay? And you have already, anyway, you have some friends here today, okay? So I think that after this show today, you cannot say you don't have friends. You have one in South America, you have Tonya in Florida, you have Brent, and you have the rest of here. We are your new friends. I'm gonna say bye-bye because we are over the time.
Yeah, we gotta close down.
Antonia is gonna wrapping up.
Carlos,
Yeah.
let's just Alina, before we let you go, can you tell our listeners how to get a hold of you?
You mean like how to find me?
Yep. How to find you? Where do we?
I'm I don't know what to say about that. I'm just I don't really know what to say.
So you're at Alena Morell 1. So
Yeah,
is that the same in all social network or just on Twitter?
Yeah, it's just pretty much everywhere. Alena Morell, and you can find me in Twitter or in Facebook. Well, I prefer Twitter because Facebook is more like personal page. So yeah,
Perfect. Thank you. And again, everybody, thank you. Carlos, thank you so much. Another great episode. We'll be back next week for our episode 24. And if you know anyone that has a project that you would like us to feature, please reach out to myself or Carlos or even to Brent. Brent is kind of like our executive producer. He gets us all, he finds out these really cool projects. Again, it's the whole concept of NFTs.
Executive producer.
Yes,
you have a new you have a new job. Great job title, Brent. Congratulations.
I'm going to list him on our new website. So if you want to listen to all our old episodes, you can go to NFTsForACause.space.
And I have to say that Tanya did an amazing job with the new website for NFT for a Cause.
Yes, and I'm working on yours right now, Brent. So, but so make sure you guys go there, and if you want to go ahead and submit your story, and we'll get back to you, or you can just DM us or follow us, and we'll follow back. And again, everybody, we'll be back next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I appreciate everyone for being here. Have an awesome the rest of Sunday. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Brent.